Hey guys, SSR here. So this is going to be a hodgepodge of video. A little bit of everything from silver stacking to silver pouring to show and tell to maybe even a mail call or an unboxing. So anyway, I've been watching Tuli's channel, you know, and the pouring and stuff, and been thinking about all that, and I thought, you know what, I want to get some of my pours out that I've done. You know, I just want to see them. You know how we like to get our stuff out and look at it and play with it and all that, you know. Well, it's even more so if it's stuff that you've poured yourself and you haven't seen it in a while. Well, when I got to looking for it, I couldn't find it. Some of it was like, oh crap, where did it go? I know I had it, but I leave stuff in here in my office all the time on the desk. And, you know, we have people in and out, you know, and family and friends, and you think, I don't know. I think it's okay, but you never know, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm looking for some of my pours and I can't find them. I'm thinking, holy crap, where is my pours? Well, in the process of that, I found some more Constitutional. And I know that sounds crazy. I've went through all my silver like a few times, but I've got several bags and boxes and tins and all this stuff. And this was, it was just, let's see, no, this was in a tin. And along with this stuff, you know, there's a 1962 Benji and some Mercuries in little Ziploc baggies. And then I found another was that another $2 face in quarters. You know, who loses $2 face in quarters and $50 in Mercury dimes? You know, I do, apparently. So anyway, as I'm going through looking for my pours, I find that and I'm like, okay, well, there's another video, some more stuff that I found that's going to either go in my book to upgrade my book or in the guardhouse boxes. One way or the other, this stuff is getting condensed into one location. So eventually I'm going to run out of finding stuff, I promise. And if I don't, well, hey, you know, what's that hurt? Nothing, right? So anyway, I'm going through it and I'm watching Tuli's pours and stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to get some of my pours out. And I can't find some of them. And the ones I can't find is all my pours that I did of Monopoly pieces. So I'll kind of give you an idea of what I think about pouring silver. So actually where I started was with the Pez, the little pieces of Pez, okay? And this all started one night on a stream with somebody else. I don't remember who it was. Somebody was streaming live and we were over in the chat talking, and somebody had a Pez dispenser with the Pez from whoever makes the Pez. There's only one company, I think, that's allowed to make the Pez for the candy company, whatever. But my wife seen that, she's like, oh my gosh, I'd like to have one of those. Well, they're pricey. So I was like, well, you know what? Why don't I try to pour one, you know? So that's where I got all the stuff and got started pouring, was in the Pez. And these are some of the first ones I've poured. And you could tell they're lopsided, and they've got what I call flash, you know, where it got out of the mold a little bit, you know. But these are some of the first ones I poured. Now you could still clearly see, if it'll focus, you could still clearly see Pez in there. But you know, these here, I just, you know, they just weren't up to my standards. So I kept these as like, I don't know, just some of the first ones I done. And these here were closer to my standards, and which they're still not perfect, but you can see the Pez. And I showed these to Rob of Rob Finds Treasure up in Grove, and he's like, "You poured those?" And I said, "Yeah, I poured those." He said, "Well, you poured these?" And I said, "Yes, I poured those." And of course I showed him my Monopoly pieces too, and he was like, "Dude, what I would do is I would put them in little flips like this and sell them like that." But I'm kind of a one-of kind of guy, you know, like I'll do something for a minute and then I'm on to something else. Once I feel like I've kind of mastered it, I get bored real easy. So once I got these done, then I thought, hey, what else could I do? Let's do some Monopoly pieces. Now you can see these aren't even finished. You see that flash in between the horse and the horseman or the rider? See, I would take a saw now and cut that out. And there's some down here, oh, wrong side, looking backwards in the camera, some down here between the front legs and the front of the horse under there. I would cut that out, and you'd really need to drill a hole in the tail back here and cut that little piece out in the center if you truly wanted it perfect, you know what I mean? And even some around the front of the legs on the top here, you'd want to get rid of that, you know. But all in all, I was pretty happy with them because it took several attempts to get these, and I was pouring them more than one at a time. You know, I was pouring several pieces at a time. Some of them were pretty easy, like the iron. Fairly simple, right? Not a whole lot to that. Money bags was pretty easy. It's just a solid pour. And this is a solid sucker too. I think it's the heaviest piece of all of them. Money bags, the hat, the top hat, pretty easy, you know. Here's the thimble, another a heavy solid piece. Might be a little void in there, but I've weighed them all and I know what they all weigh, or I have it wrote down somewhere. Wheelbarrow, fairly simple on the wheelbarrow, except the wheel, the front wheel. I got a little carried away, I think, on the sanding, but for the most part, you really don't even notice it. Oh, I held it at the wrong end. But, you know, anyway, I like doing these. And then the little car. Here's a little car. And you might notice there's a flaw in this little car, right? Well, the flaw is right there on top of the windshield. You see that one, or there's no windshield, but right here in front of the driver, that area is open, right? So this area, I smashed it trying to put my maker's mark on it. I don't even know if you can see it now. It's basically, my maker's mark is a bow, and it says 3/9 fine silver in it, bow and arrow. Anyway, so I was talking to somebody in the community that pours some silver. That's the Canon. And I asked them, I said, hey, how do you mark your stuff without bending it? And you know how, okay, nobody ever asked me a question about pouring silver that I didn't give them an honest answer, because I don't have a monopoly on pouring silver, right? and we're kind of all friends here. Well, this person I thought was pretty cool. I'd been watching his channel for a while and his pours and stuff, and I thought, hey, maybe he'll tell me, you know, like how he does it, you know. And so I just asked him, I'm like, how do you put your mark on there, your maker's mark or whatever, without bending them or distorting them anyway? And you know what he told me? I do it in such a way that it doesn't distort the metal. Wow. Some good advice there, right? So I quit watching his channel. I figure vote with your feet, right? Anyway, I'm like, what a jerk, you know? Supposed to be part of the community. Of course, he's trying to sell us stuff, right? So you know that right away. If you're watching a channel and they're pouring and they're doing this and doing that, and right away they start trying to sell you crap, well, you know what they're about. They're not really about the silver community. They're about trying to profit off of it. So, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that, if that's what you're trying to do, you know. But I've never been about that. So anyway, I was stamping a bar one night, and they started bidding on it in the chat. And next thing I know, somebody had bid so high on the bar, I sold it. I'm getting a phone call. Hold on one second. So anyway, that was the only thing I guess I'd ever sold, was the bar. And I take that back. I sold a piece of my Monopoly set. And it was only because it was somebody that, you know, was a friend. And she really wanted a piece of the Monopoly set, just one piece. And I sold it to her. So I don't know if you know which one it is, but it's the doggy, the puppy, whatever. So every once in a while, if you're in the stream and you notice me asking somebody, hey, how's the puppy doing? Are you taking care of my puppy? And you hear, or you see them come back, yeah, I still got your puppy, or whatever. That's the puppy out of my Monopoly set. So anyway, having said all that, to me, silver pours are not so difficult on the big pieces. I think what really shows your skill level is the smaller pieces. The smaller you can pour something and make it look right and it come out good, that's skill. Now if you can pour something as big as a $50, you know, and it looks good, you know, that's cool. That's cool. But it takes skill, I think, the smaller the things are. You know, like the guy that makes the little statues and stuff out of lint, out of the air, and puts it in a little glass dome, and it takes a magnifying glass to even see it. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but there's a guy that does that, and he picks stuff out of the air, lint flying out of the air, and he makes statues, and like the Eiffel Tower, and I don't know what all he's made, but he's made a lot of stuff. And you talk about selling for a fantastic price, and you can't even see it with a naked eye. That's amazing. But anyway, that's cool. Like the smaller stuff is what I like, you know. If you want to impress me, pour some little stuff. That's when it gets tricky. But anyway, I wanted to show you that, and show you, you know, some of my pours, the old Pez pours and all that good stuff. And I hadn't had them out in a while, so I kind of wanted to see them myself, you know. I've seen the Pez lately, but I hadn't seen my Monopoly set. My Monopoly set had been gone for a while, and I was like, where the crap is my Monopoly set? Have I lost my Monopoly set? So anyway, there's my Monopoly set and my old Pez. I'm going to move some of this out of the way, because now, and these are starting to get a patina to it too. It's kind of cool. They've just been sitting somewhere. I think they were in a little jewelry box. Yeah, they were in a little jewelry box in my gun cabinet, and they were starting to get a patina. I'm thinking, what in the world is in that jewelry box that would cause them to get a patina? But they're still cool. I don't know, there's, man, probably 3 or 4 ounces there. Pretty heavy.